Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, sir.
Today we are going to discuss simple present tense, and we will make the students understand how to use simple present tense.
Definitely.
Okay. Now, simple present tense is used to show something that is a state of an affairs. It is also used for general fact, habitual actions, and future timetables.
Right.
Right. Now, present perfect tense, it means something was done yesterday, it is happening today, and it will happen in future. So, things happening regularly.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So, from my experience, I can tell that this tense is highly used.
Yes, sir.
And if somebody masters this tense, I think half of the job will be over in English.
Definitely, that's
Okay,
true.
so let us begin now. So there are three different types of verbs. If we have to learn simple present tense, we have to keep this thing in mind.
Right, sir.
We can categorize the verb in three categories. Firstly, it is the action verb. And then it is a status verb, and finally it will be possessive verbs. Now, action verbs can again be categorized as regular verbs or the irregular verbs. Regular verb means that ends with the ed. Like if we make the past tense of it, it is ed is added in that. Like for example, like work, worked, worked. And in case of irregular verbs, we have to change the form. That means like let us take the example speak. So past tense will become spoke, and past participle will become spoken. Right? Now let us begin. The positive sentence, like if you're using action verb, the structure would be, first of all, we'll be making subject, we'll be adding subject, followed by verb, and then we can add certain other words. Right? Let us take example like I drink tea. We work in bank, and she likes action movies. Okay, in case of he, she, it, and name, we have to add as or es.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
So, in case of the negative, if you are making it negative, then we will be adding don't or doesn't with the subject. So, subject plus don't or doesn't, then we add first, that is infinitive form of the verb V1. We will say it V1 and the other words. So some examples could be like I don't drink tea. We don't work in bank. She doesn't like action movies. Now with I, you, we and they, we would use don't, and with he, she and it, we use doesn't. Now, if you have to turn this into a question, then we have to bring do or does in the front, right? So the structure would be do, does, plus subject, and then we will add V1 and followed by other words. So some of the example could be, same example, we will use the same example like I don't drink tea, yes. If I have to question, then it will be
do you drink tea?
Yes. Do they work in bank? And the other could be, does she like action movies? So with I, you, we, they, you need to start with the do. And with he, she, name, it will be does.
Right, sir.
Now, don't you think it is easy?
It's definitely very easy.
I think sometimes students, they are scared. The problem is, the student, they use continuous tense in place of status or the present tense. Right? That is the problem. Okay, now
we'll start with the status verb.
Sure.
Okay, so status verbs actually defines the state of the subject that he or she is in it.
Right.
Like, so for instance, we can say that right now when I am talking to you, I am feeling very happy.
Correct.
So right now my status is being happy. Okay.
So I am happy.
So I am happy.
Very good.
Now there are basically three status verbs that we use. Those are am, is and are.
Okay.
For instance, now let's start to form a positive sentence.
Okay.
If we are forming a positive sentence, we use a structure starting with the subject.
I see.
And it should be followed by either am, is or are.
Right.
and it should be followed by other words.
Right.
Let's take an example like I am a student.
Right. So that shows the status.
That shows the status of
Correct.
me being a student.
Correct.
Raj is happy today.
Absolutely correct. Raj is happy. It shows the state
Status
of
of
mind.
Raj
Okay, yes.
being happy today, and
Correct.
they are present in the class.
Right.
So it shows the status of being present in
They
the
are
class.
present in the class. Yes.
So we use M with just one subject, that is I, and R is used with you, we, and they, and is used with
He, she,
it, and name.
Right.
Okay. Now for
Correct.
forming a negative sentence, we just add a not.
Mm-hmm.
Like say subject.
So it is easy.
It's
in a way,
definitely
like,
very easy.
You have to
It's
just add not into
not.
it.
No,
Okay.
it's definitely very easy.
Say I am
Subject,
student. I am not student.
I am not
Very
a
good.
student. Formation being subject followed by MSR
Correct.
plus adding a not
Correct.
and other words.
Correct.
I am not a student.
Mhm.
Say Raj is not happy today.
Correct.
They are not present in the class.
Absolutely right.
So just adding a not
it's
makes
easier,
it a
quite easier.
negative one.
Quite easier.
Now let's move on to the question sentence.
Okay.
How do we ask a question?
That is to be brought in the front. Like I think am is an R if you bring in
Yes,
front. That becomes.
definitely. Yes, sir.
Okay.
MSR is to be brought in the front and the subject is followed
Mm-hmm.
and then the other words. For
It is
example,
flipping the position.
just flipping the position.
Correct.
Am I a student? Is Raj happy today? And
Right.
are they present in the class?
Correct.
So here we saw that we're just flipping the positions of
Right.
MSR with the subject.
Okay.
So here we have to keep in mind just one simple point, and it will be that action verb and status verb are never
Right.
used together.
Right. So it can't be like,
Hmm.
for example, if I say I am go to
No.
temple would be wrong.
It would be wrong.
Okay.
So that's the rule. that
She
we
is come is a wrong
is wrong.
sentence.
She is come is a wrong sentence.
Right.
So it's a rule basically that we'll have to follow.
Okay,
Never
okay.
to mix action verb with am as and
Correct.
are.
Correct. Now the third category is having verbs.
Right.
All right. So having is again like you have to handle it like the
Ownership.
action verb only,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
The same way we are handling the
Status verb.
status verb, not the status verb, but the action verb.
Okay.
Like I have a sister. So have is the possession.
Possession.
That means it shows the ownership.
Hmm.
So structure would be subject, have or has, and then the other words,
Other words.
right, in the positive sentence. And like the other example could be we have holiday today, or she has a nice watch. Now with I, you, we, they, we would put have, and with he, she, it will
And
be
then- yes,
has.
it will be has.
Okay. So if you have to make negative,
We just add
we have
do
to
and does plus not.
don't or do not.
Yes.
Like the same way we do it in action
Action
verb.
verb.
Right? I don't have a sister, or we don't have holiday today, or she doesn't have a laptop.
Laptop.
So that shows negative.
Negative.
And if you have to make the same thing in question, what we have to do is we have to bring don't and doesn't in the front.
Front.
So that will be, we start the structure like do or does,
Followed
depending
by
on the subjects, as per the subject, and then we add have into it and the other verbs.
Yes.
Right? Do you have a brother or a sister? If I ask you, do you have a brother or a sister?
Yes, I have one brother and one sister.
Okay. Do they have holiday today?
Hmm.
Okay. Does she have a laptop?
No, she doesn't have a
So-
laptop.
It will be like do or does will come in the front.
Hmm.
Okay. With I, you, we, and they, we would add do,
Do.
and for he, she, it will be again does.
Does.
Okay. Now, same like a person can let us have couple of sentences once again
Sure.
to have a revision of
revision of all the verbs.
verbs. So let us start with it. Let us take the one action verb now.
Okay.
Okay, study.
Okay. Study.
So I study, you
You
study, we study, they
They
study. But he, she,
Studies.
it, and name. If somebody is there, then we
Yeah.
can say studies.
So
And we have to keep in mind the spelling rules also.
Yes.
Okay, so it is not always you would add s, but sometimes if it ends with y, then you have to remove y and put ies sometimes, or it can be s also.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
for that, like you can have the session on spelling rules. That is a separate session. Okay,
Yes.
so I hope it is clear, very clear to you,
Very clear, sir.
and I hope like the students will benefit from our
I'm
discussion.
Sure, I'm sure, sir. They will.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you
Nice meeting you.
and
Sir.
nice discussions.
Thank you, sir.